What governs your life today, your circumstances, or your thoughts? This is not a question for the idle mind, nor is it a philosophical curiosity. It is the very foundation upon which the structure of your success is built. If your thoughts are confused, negative, and reactive, then your results will mirror that chaos. But if your thoughts are disciplined, directed, and definite, then your life begins to yield the rewards of clarity, vision, and purpose. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing worthwhile ever comes from scattered attention. The starting point of all success, wealth, and peace is the control of thought. If you do not command your mind, you will serve someone else's. That is not conjecture, it is law. In my lifetime of studying men and women of power and achievement, I have never found an exception. Those who rise above the average do so not by luck, not by favor, but by mastering the inner dialogue that shapes every step they take. The world has given you 1,000 reasons to be distracted. It feeds you noise, demands your attention, lures your focus with triviality. And if you are not vigilant, if you do not stand as the sentinel of your own mind, you will fall victim to the agenda of others. That is why the control of thought is not a minor undertaking. It is the primary business of life. Every action begins in the mind. Every success is first rehearsed in thought before it becomes real in the world. The moment you allow doubt to enter, the seed of failure is planted. The instant you entertain fear, you have empowered defeat. You must understand this. Thought is not passive. It is the most potent force in your possession. A man may own nothing, yet rise by the power of a disciplined mind. Another may inherit wealth and lose it all through reckless, unfocused thinking. Wealth is not first a material condition. It is the offspring of mental order. When I speak of transforming your life, I do not refer to external circumstances alone. That is a consequence, not a cause. The transformation begins in the quiet solitude of your own thinking. You do not need permission to begin. You need only a decision, a resolute, unwavering commitment to guard your thoughts as a treasure. Do not allow your mind to wander aimlessly. Thoughts, like seeds, grow into whatever they are fed. Plant doubt, and you reap hesitation. Plant belief, and you grow courage. Feed your thoughts on fear, and you become paralyzed. Feed your thoughts on purpose, and you become unstoppable. You must take this seriously. Your present results are the evidence of your past thinking. If you want new results, change the thoughts that created your current condition. This is not abstract. It is mechanical. It is repeatable. It is the law. Most people drift because they never take full possession of their mind. They move according to the winds of public opinion, family expectation, and social influence. But the one who controls his thoughts controls his destiny. This power belongs to no special class. It is not reserved for the privileged, nor is it gifted only to the educated. It is available to all, but used by few. And so I ask you, are you using your mind, or is your mind using you? Have you trained it to obey your will, or does it run wild, pulled by every distraction? The riches you seek, the peace you desire, the success you dream of, they are not out there waiting to be stumbled upon. They are already within you, locked inside the pattern of your thoughts. Change that pattern, and you change everything. Now let us be precise. To control your thoughts is not to repress them. It is to select them consciously, to feed the mind only that which supports your definite purpose. You must become ruthless with your attention. Eliminate the trivial. Guard your focus as you would guard your life, for it is your life. Begin each day with intention. Do not start by reacting. Start by creating. The most powerful people do not begin their day by scrolling through distractions. They begin in silence, in clarity, with their mind anchored in their purpose. They do not wait for motivation. They command their will. And so must you. Start small, but start. Direct one thought. Hold it, shape it, repeat it. Discipline grows by use. The more you direct your thoughts, the more power you develop to shape your world. The one who becomes rich is not necessarily the one who works hardest, but the one who thinks with the greatest clarity and conviction. Riches respond to definite thought. The universe does not reward confusion. It responds to order, to definiteness, to purpose. When your mind is fixated on what you want and you remove the mental clutter, then the creative forces of the mind begin to work on your behalf. Opportunities appear. Ideas emerge. But if you vacillate, if you permit contradictory thoughts to dominate your mind, then you will remain stuck in mediocrity. That is the great tragedy of the masses. They never learn to think in a straight line. They think in circles, and so their lives go in circles. You must, therefore, study your thoughts. Observe them as a craftsman inspects his tool. Which thoughts serve your aim? Which sabotage it? Which beliefs move you forward, and which keep you stuck? Be honest. Do not deceive yourself with shallow optimism. Get to the root. If your dominant thoughts are fearful, you must replace them. If they are vague, you must make them definite. If they are self-defeating, you must destroy them. Thought is not something that merely passes through your mind. It is something you choose, install, repeat, and make permanent. This is the discipline. This is the path. There is no shortcut. You cannot think of wealth and poverty in the same breath and expect to grow. You cannot dwell on failure and expect success. The mind must be cleansed of contradictions. It must be united behind a single aim. That is why the first step toward mastery is a definite purpose. Without that, your thoughts scatter. But once you know what you want, truly want, your thoughts begin to organize around that desire. And that desire, once mixed with faith and persistence, becomes an unstoppable force. The stronger the thought, the stronger the result. And remember, repetition is the mother of mastery. Think the same thought over and over, and it becomes part of your character. Character becomes habit. Habit becomes destiny. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of the world. You have been given the greatest tool ever known, the power to choose your thoughts. Use it. Practice it. Every hour. Every day. When doubt arises, replace it with belief. When fear creeps in, install courage. When laziness tempts you, ignite discipline. This is not easy, but it is simple. And those who do it, those who practice it relentlessly, they rise. They elevate not by luck, not by charm, but by law. The law of mind control. The law of definite thought. The law that says, as you think, so shall you become. Control is not established in moments of comfort. It is forged in the battle against internal resistance. The reason most men fail to gain mastery over their minds is because they never endure the discomfort of discipline long enough for transformation to occur. They give in at the first feeling of fatigue. They surrender the moment distraction whispers. But let me tell you this. The mind, just like the body, conforms to the strength of your repeated command. Each time you resist temptation, you gain power. Each time you redirect a wandering thought back to your purpose, you build the muscle of mastery. Control is not a gift, it is earned. And you will earn it not in a day, but in the daily grind of choosing your thoughts deliberately, repeatedly, and unrelentingly. Do not deceive yourself into thinking this work is optional. If you do not control your thoughts will control you, and they will drag you back into the pit of mediocrity. Now let us talk about one of the most dangerous poisons that infects the mind: doubt. Doubt is the silent assassin of dreams. It enters quietly, often disguised as caution. It wears the mask of logic, but beneath it lies fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of stepping beyond the comfort of the known. Doubt does not need to scream to destroy. A whisper is enough. The moment you accept a doubtful thought without challenge, you begin to retreat from your definite aim. And make no mistake, what you tolerate in your thinking, you permit in your results. The disciplined mind permits no room for doubt. It recognizes it at once and eliminates it with the force of faith. Faith is not blind. Faith is born of understanding that your mind, when focused, when committed, when supported by belief, will shape your world to fit your inner image. So hold that image. Guard it. Refuse to let it fade under pressure. Faith is not some mystical abstraction. It is a state of mental clarity and emotional conviction that allows no contradiction. A man with faith does not need to know all the steps. He needs only to see the next one and believe that he will take it. Faith is the bridge between thought and action, and it is strengthened through repetition and affirmation. You must tell your mind daily, relentlessly, who you are and what you will become. Do not leave your thoughts to chance. The world will feed your mind with fear unless you feed it with purpose. Affirm your goals. Speak your intention. Write them down. Read them aloud. Your subconscious mind responds to repetition. That is how belief is installed. That is how thought becomes reality. Let us now deal with the enemy of all mental clarity: distraction. The mind cannot serve two masters. When your attention is divided, your power is diluted. The successful man understands this. He does not waste mental energy on trivial matters. He guards his time, his space, his routines. He eliminates the unnecessary so that all energy is channeled toward a singular goal. This is not obsession. This is precision. And if you are not precise, you will wander. You will drift from idea to idea, goal to goal, never staying long enough to create momentum. A scattered mind produces scattered results. So simplify. Cut the noise. Create rituals that support your thinking. Reserve time for silence. Reserve time for study. Reserve time to speak with yourself clearly about what you want and what you are willing to do to get it. This is the practice of mental self-command. A powerful mind is not the result of information. It is the result of organized, concentrated thought. You may read hundreds of books, listen to all the experts, and still remain confused, because confusion is not solved by more input. It is solved by clarity of intention. Ask yourself, what do I want? Not vaguely, not someday, but clearly and now. Define it. Write it. Fix it in your mind. That clarity is the lens through which all your thinking must be focused. Without it, your mind becomes a victim to distraction. You will react to circumstances instead of creating them. You will move with the crowd instead of standing apart from it. You will respond to emotion instead of principle. And you will wake up years later wondering why success escaped you. But it was not success that fled. It was your focus that wavered. You must train your mind to work in alignment with your purpose. Begin each day with intention. Before the world has a chance to influence your mood, influence it yourself. Think the thoughts you want to think. Direct your energy before it is scattered. This practice of morning control is not optional for those who seek greatness. It is foundational. It is the seed of self-mastery. You do not begin your day by accident. You begin it with thought, with intention, with fire. You remind your mind what matters. You remind yourself who is in control. Do not leave this power unused. Too many wait for external motivation. But motivation fades. Discipline remains. And discipline begins with thought. If you can control your first thought of the day, you can begin to control the rest. The mind will follow the path you create for it. If you allow it to dwell on fear, you will become paralyzed. If you fix it on purpose, you will become powerful. If you indulge it in negativity, it will drain your energy. But if you flood it with faith, determination, and clarity, it will drive you forward like a locomotive. So stop giving your mind permission to sabotage you. Stop allowing negative thinking to sit unchallenged in your head. Root it out. Replace it. Reinforce new beliefs. That is the method. That is the mastery. That is how lives are transformed, not by wishing, not by waiting, but by repeatedly controlling the stream of thought until the mind becomes a servant to your will. Let us not overlook the power of environment in shaping your thought. Your surroundings influence your state of mind. The voices you hear, the people you associate with, the media you consume, all of these plant seeds in your consciousness. Be selective. Be ruthless. If something weakens your focus, remove it. If someone drains your belief, distance yourself. Your mind is too valuable to be polluted by low standards. Protect your energy. Design your environment to elevate your thinking. Create a space where your mind is reminded of your purpose. Place your goals where you can see them. Keep your books where you can read them. Surround yourself with reminders of who you are becoming. This is not decoration. This is construction. You are constructing the mindset of a successful life. Your thoughts do not merely reflect your reality, they shape it. Every invention, every fortune, every revolution in history began in the same place. A single thought, fully believed, acted upon with persistence. The average man thinks shallowly. He allows life to happen to him. But the great man thinks deeply. He makes life happen through him. You are not here to exist. You are here to create. And the first thing you must create is the mental structure of the life you want to build. That begins with sustained focus. That begins with repetition of truth. That begins with unwavering discipline in thought. Not once, not sometimes, but daily, hourly, moment to moment. This is the work. And if you do the work, the result is guaranteed, not because of chance, but because of law. Let us now deepen our understanding of this truth. You become what you habitually think. This is not a metaphor. It is law. Every dominant thought, when mixed with emotion and belief, seeks physical expression. The results you are experiencing now, whether success or failure, are not accidents. They are the fruits of the thoughts you have consistently entertained, whether consciously or unconsciously. Nothing in your external world exists that did not first exist in the inner world of thought. So if you wish to transform your life, you must begin by transforming your thinking at its root. Not merely surface-level thoughts, but your deepest convictions. You must examine what you truly believe about your capabilities, about money, about purpose, about power. If those beliefs are weak, fearful, or limiting, They must be burned away and replaced with beliefs of strength, abundance, and clarity. Many people attempt to change their circumstances without first changing their thinking, and they wonder why results never last. You cannot plant weeds and expect roses. You cannot build a mansion on a foundation of sand. The subconscious mind does not respond to wishful thinking. It responds to consistency. It responds to command. You must speak to it daily, with authority, with emotion, and with certainty. The most powerful way to change a belief is to implant a new one through auto-suggestion. Repetition is the mechanism. Belief is the fuel. Emotion is the accelerator. When you combine these three, you reprogram the subconscious mind. And once the subconscious accepts the new belief, it will drive you toward its manifestation with unwavering loyalty. Your job is not to guess how it will happen. Your job is to command the mind and take consistent action. You must also be vigilant in identifying and rejecting all destructive thoughts the moment they appear. Do not entertain them. Do not argue with them. Replace them immediately. Substitute fear with faith. Replace self-doubt with self-talk of empowerment. Eliminate envy with gratitude. Your mind cannot hold two dominant thoughts at the same time. Choose the one that serves your purpose. This is not denial of reality. This is the construction of a higher reality. You are not here to be ruled by reaction. You are here to respond with intention. That intention begins with your internal dialogue. If your inner voice speaks weakness, change the voice. You do not have to accept the narrative of failure. You can rewrite it word by word, belief by belief, until your inner story aligns with your outer success. Understand, the creative power of thought cannot be separated from action. Thinking alone is not enough. It must be fused with persistence. The law of success requires effort, and the law of compensation requires value. Thought is the blueprint. Action is the construction. You cannot sit in a room and hope your conditions will change. You must discipline your mind, align it with your goals, and then move your feet in harmony with your vision. If you fail to act, your belief remains incomplete. Action solidifies belief. Each step forward reinforces the mind's commitment to success. The world does not reward what you intend to do. It rewards what you persistently execute. So set your intention. Control your thinking, but then act every single day. Let us now address the principle of definiteness of purpose. A drifting mind can never create success. A man without a chief aim is a ship without a compass. The majority of failures can be traced back to the lack of a definite goal. You must know exactly what you want, not generally, not someday, but precisely and now. Write it out. Memorize it. Think about it in the morning. Revisit it at noon. Reaffirm it at night. Your thoughts must orbit around your purpose like planets around the sun. That central aim will give order to your mental chaos. It will give meaning to your discipline. Without it, your thoughts scatter, your energy dissipates, and your efforts lose impact. Decide what you want. Then decide you will have it. That decision is the first act of creation. Now let us talk about self-image, the silent builder of all success. You can never rise above the opinion you hold of yourself. No matter what others say, no matter what evidence is in your favor, if you secretly believe you are unworthy, you will sabotage your progress. Your mind will find a way to lose what it has gained. The subconscious mind always seeks to maintain alignment with your internal identity. This is why you must train your mind to see yourself as successful before the world confirms it. Speak to yourself in the language of the man or woman you intend to become. Walk with their posture. Think with their certainty. Decide with their conviction. That is not arrogance. That is identity alignment. And identity controls destiny. Thoughts, when backed by belief and emotion, become unstoppable. They create a mental magnet that pulls resources, opportunities, people, and conditions into alignment with your goal. This is not superstition. This is mental science. You already practice it daily, often to your detriment. When you think obsessively about fear, what do you notice? More to fear. When you dwell on limitation, what do you experience? More obstacles. Your thoughts are magnets. Change the charge. If you want abundance, think it. Feel it. Act from it. If you want confidence, speak it. Move as if it's already true. This is how the subconscious mind begins to obey a new master. You cannot beg it into submission. You must command it not once, but until it becomes your servant, not your saboteur. You must also develop emotional control, for uncontrolled emotion weakens thought. The man ruled by emotion is unpredictable and easily manipulated. One moment he is inspired, the next he is defeated. One small challenge, and he abandons his purpose. This is not power. This is surrender. True power is calm. It is focused. It does not react. It decides. This is the temperament of a builder. You are here to build, not react, not complain, not collapse, but to build. That requires the ability to regulate emotion, to maintain poise, to stay focused even when the world attempts to pull your attention in 1,000 directions. Do not give your emotions control over your decisions. Let your decisions control your emotions. That is mastery. Let us also confront the illusion of time. Many delay transformation by telling themselves they need more time. But time does not change you, decision does. Time merely reveals the consistency of your thought. The man who thinks differently for a year but never acts will be no further than the man who never thought at all. The change begins now, in this moment, with this very thought. What you allow in this moment becomes your pattern. Do not postpone clarity. Do not wait to believe. Decide now that your mind will serve you. Decide now that you will no longer indulge in negative thinking. Decide now that you are done being a slave to fear, doubt, and mediocrity. Time is not your master. You are the master of time, and your thoughts determine what you create with it. You must become ruthless in your thinking. Eliminate the habit of excuses. Excuses are thoughts that justify inaction. They feel logical, but they destroy progress. Replace excuses with responsibility. Take full command of your thoughts, your schedule, your focus. Never again say, "I don't feel like it." That is a thought of weakness. Replace it with, "This is who I am. This is what I do." Create new patterns of thought that support your new identity. Your mind is programmable, and repetition is the code. If you do not program it deliberately, it will be programmed by the fears and opinions of others. Refuse to let that happen. Now, understand this. The war for success is fought internally. Your real enemy is not external. It is the thought that says you can't. It is the thought that says maybe tomorrow. It is the thought that says you're not ready. That voice must be silenced, not by ignoring it, but by overriding it. Replace it with thoughts of strength, not fluffy affirmations, but declarations backed by belief and reinforced by action. Do not hope to win this war once and for all. You win it each day, each hour, each moment that you choose the thought that aligns with your purpose. You win it through practice, through persistence, through thought discipline that does not bend when pressure comes, because pressure will come, and it will test the quality of your thinking. Make sure your thoughts are forged in purpose, not in weakness. This is the path. This is the work. If you will control your thoughts, you will transform your destiny. That is not a promise, it is law. You cannot think clearly, consistently, and powerfully for months and remain the same. Your world must conform. It has no choice. But you must give it direction. You must become the thinker, the intentional thinker, the disciplined thinker. Do not wait. Begin today. Begin now. Control one thought, then another, then another. And soon, your entire life will reflect the order, clarity, and power of a mind trained for greatness. The true measure of a person's power is not determined by how much control they have over others. It is revealed by how much control they exercise over themselves. And no mastery is more critical than the mastery of thought. You cannot build a life of success, peace, and purpose without first erecting a system of order within the corridors of your mind. The world you see, the choices you make, the results you experience, all are reflections of your mental state. This is not speculative. It is a fixed law of nature. If your thoughts are weak, scattered, or corrupted by fear, your results will reflect that weakness. But if your thoughts are strong, concentrated, and infused with purpose, then your life will rise to meet that vision. You are the architect. You are the builder. And most importantly, you are the governor of the thoughts that direct your every move. You are not a machine moved by impulse or emotion unless you surrender that authority. The first law of personal transformation is this: nothing changes outside until it changes within. And nothing changes within unless thought is directed with intention. The mind is not a passive recipient, it is a fertile field. If you fail to plant the seeds deliberately, weeds will grow. They are the weeds of indecision, of procrastination, of doubt. These are not random. They are default programs activated in minds left unguarded. The disciplined mind, however, does not tolerate their presence. It replaces them with thoughts of clarity, initiative, and definite aim. No man can control his destiny who has not first learned to control the dominant thought patterns that reside in his mind. Your habits stem from your thoughts. Your results flow from your habits. And your future is nothing more than the compounded outcome of your current results. If you wish to redirect your future, you must interrupt the cycle now. Begin by identifying the thoughts you repeat most often. Are they aligned with your purpose? Are they rooted in faith or in fear? Are they moving you toward the life you want or keeping you trapped in the conditions you claim to despise? Be honest. For nothing of lasting value is built upon self-deception. Do not expect results to change overnight, but expect your awareness to sharpen immediately. From that awareness, new patterns will begin to form, but only if you act. Mental discipline is not a theoretical concept. It is a practice that requires effort. That effort, when applied consistently, becomes identity, and that identity becomes destiny. Understand this well. Transformation does not begin with motivation. It begins with decision. The man who decides that his thoughts shall obey his purpose is the man who begins to live by law, not by accident. He becomes the cause, not the effect. He moves from the realm of wishers to the world of builders, and the world honors builders. You must also take full responsibility for the environment you allow around your mind. The thoughts you think are either strengthened or weakened by the voices you allow to speak into your life. The books you read, the conversations you entertain, the media you consume, all shape your internal dialogue. You cannot afford to feed your mind with garbage and expect it to produce gold. Be ruthless in your filtering. What does not serve your growth must be discarded. This is not cruelty. It is necessity. You are shaping your life. You cannot afford distractions, cynicism, or noise. Protect your mental space with the same intensity as a builder protects the foundation of his home. For it is on that ground your legacy will be built. Discipline your mind to observe without absorbing. Just because a thought enters does not mean it must be accepted. You are not the servant of your mind. You are the master. When a destructive thought arises, you can reject it. When fear whispers, you can silence it. When doubt appears, you can override it with reason, vision, and persistence. This requires awareness. It requires the will to think beyond reaction. And it requires a commitment to be the kind of person who no longer permits his mind to drift like a ship with no anchor. Mental mastery is not given. It is earned. Earned by those who dare to think deliberately, to feel consciously, and to choose wisely. Let us not overlook the power of daily repetition. The mind is molded through consistency. You do not train a champion once, you train daily. Likewise, you must speak to your mind daily with conviction. You must affirm your purpose. You must reinforce your beliefs. You must remind yourself that you are in command. The man who disciplines his mind each day, even for 10 minutes, is building a fortress of thought that no adversity can conquer. This is how character is formed. This is how resolve is built. You cannot wait for the world to affirm you. You must affirm yourself. That is the cornerstone of self-leadership. Let us also address the necessity of emotional independence. The man who depends on external validation for inner peace will forever be a slave to circumstance. You must learn to think independent of praise or criticism. Your self-worth cannot be placed in the hands of others. For the moment you do, you give them the power to destabilize your vision. Decide that your mind will remain centered, regardless of who applauds or who mocks. Think as the master thinks. Act as the leader acts. Speak as the man of purpose speaks. You are not here to react to others. You are here to realize your vision. That realization begins in the mind. One of the greatest tests of your thought control is how you respond to difficulty. When circumstances challenge you, do you default to defeat, or do you think your way through with clarity? Every obstacle is a mirror reflecting the quality of your dominant thoughts. Those who crumble under pressure have not yet mastered their mind. Those who remain poised, who rise in the face of adversity, have trained their thoughts to obey principle rather than panic. You must become that person. Let every challenge refine your thinking. Let every trial sharpen your clarity. This is how greatness is born, not in ease, but in disciplined thought under pressure. Now, let us bring focus to a higher plane. If you are to truly transform your life through thought, you must embrace the power of a higher mind. This is the realm of inspired thought, where ideas are born not from fear, but from vision, where thoughts are no longer reactive, but creative, where you think not merely about surviving, but about contributing, about creating value, about building legacies. The highest use of thought is not self-protection, it is self-expression aligned with purpose. When your mind begins to operate from this altitude, Your life expands in every direction. You become magnetic. People feel the power of your clarity. Circumstances shift. Opportunities emerge. This is not coincidence. This is the result of disciplined thought vibrating at the level of purpose. But remember, this level of thought